Hey, CmdrAleon, good evening. South QB Soy 1, Whirlwind, good to see everybody out there. Hey, Sandra, April, everybody out there, Jenny, LB. You're watching the beginning of Encounters, the #1 spiritual UFO talk show here on social media. The UFO talk show that's making waves. Hey, Kazoo, good to see you. Cheryl T. And you might have just found out about our show in different weird ways. Mark, Sue. So if you're new to the show, you're going to get to see the real encounters. Hey, Cleo, good to see you, sister. Not all the garbage that's being thrown about out there, but the real encounters. So welcome, Lucas Jackson. Good to see you, user 469. Sunchild, good to see you. Everybody out there, man. We're going to bust the matrix as we always are here to do. Laney63. I've been here from the beginning. Yes, you have, April. You have been here from the beginning. And the commander is standing strong. You know, we must be doing something right. Unknowledge something, I think it is. Cinnamon, thanks for joining us. Leaper, Leah, Cinnamon, welcome to the show. Let's see here. Marcia, welcome, Marcia. Welcome, everybody. Marcel Roberts, I think it is. Salty Dog, good to see you. Sober to Fitness, hey, how you doing? UU589. Just everybody out there around the world. Hey, TicTok, good to see you. We're doing good. We're standing strong in our spirit and our knowledge of the subject at hand. Always a pleasure. Good to have you here with us. Butterfly, good to see you, Butterfly. All the new people, all the long-time viewers, Tammy, welcome. Trust in God, good to see you. M-Dub, welcome to the show. Everybody out there. Armagnac, good evening. Chris Brown, welcome. Good to see you, Trust in God. Next, Javi Hall, hey Javi. Let's see. Just everybody coming in here. Ozzy, good to see you, brother. Kayla. Ross Company, 369, welcome. Hey, Sassy Lassie. Erica, Haley, Erica. Monica Dorset, good evening, good to see you. Tamara, good to see you, Tamara. Let's see, it's Man Something, Jills, I think it is. Just looking at DF4567, good evening. Jordan, good to see you, Jordan. Bobby B, good evening. All right, we got a lot of people in the Cosmic House tonight here on Encounters. Rocket, good to see you. Lady D Natural, I like that name. Hey, Jordan, good to see you, brother. Kayla, Kimberly, Dana. If they are coming, we will be prepared for them. Hey, Daniel YT, good to see you. Wolverine, welcome. Bobby B, thank you for being here. Everybody, Josh B, 420. Let's see who we got here. Hey, Kara, Josh B, 420, welcome. Rachel, welcome. Cinnamon Toast, welcome, Cinnamon Toast. Billy Beth, welcome. Boonesboro, welcome, Boonesboro. Hey, Lizzie Hightower, good to see you, sister. Doggy Zara, hey, Doggy Zara. The Lamb 505, I think it is. Hey, Barbie. Sober to Fitness, welcome back. Randy Clary, I think it is. Drew. Skydiver. Hey, welcome, Skydiver. D. Gannon, I think it is. Well, anyway, you're here watching Encounters. We've been on here for a long time, not all night, just now. But seriously, we've been on here for over 3 years, going to 3.5 years, hitting into the middle, getting into summer. That seems like only yesterday. And we've always talked about, if you knew, we talked about the spiritual applications of ufology. We get into contacts, we get into busting the matrix, disclosure, shaking things up here. And we know that the government doesn't like to have things shaken up, because if you shake things up, watch out. Linda, good to see you here. Joe M. Peggy, hey, Peggy. Hey, Linda Martinez. Molly, thanks for joining us. Stephen, over the something. Michael, Thank you, Jojo. Thanks for being here. Michael. Let's see here. Shelby. A lot of good people. Hey, David. Good to see you, brother. Always. Rain City Drones. That's a good name. Hey, Linda Lovely 7. Good to see you. Twain, welcome. April, welcome back in. Good to have you back in. I don't know what happened to you, but you're back here, so that's good. Erica, Papa W, I think it is. Papa. I think it is Maxwell. Maxwell, I like your little image there of the ET. Cupcake. Everybody out there. Donald Curtis. Hey, Donald. So this is Encounters. We get into the whole UFO thing in a very big way. Erica, hello. And we get into Judith, hello. We get into all, it kicked you out. TikTok has to be better than that. TikTok, what are you doing? We have to put TikTok in its place sometimes. Well, we're glad you're back. Cindy Reckley, I think it is, Janet Hendrick. Good to have you with us. Everybody, Betty Boop. Welcome, Betty Boop. Daydreamer 5129, welcome to the program. So this is the real show called Encounters. You might have heard about us in many different weird ways, but you're now watching the actual show. And you're going to be having a great time here. You'd be addicted to the things we talk about. Like we always say, we don't care about anything other than the cosmic liberation of truth on the subject, covering everything from the abduction area to people that are actually having contact, people having sightings. It's really a beautiful thing because there's so many tapestries to the whole subject. Hey, Gracie, I hope you're doing well. It's always good to see you. Lizzie, let's see, Monica Dorset, hello. Let's see, Candy. Hey, Candy. Joni, I think it is. CSS Storman. Jojo, welcome back. You know, TikTok is getting weird. Some people must be getting kicked out with TikTok's algorithm. I don't know what's going on, but come on back in. TikTok's just weird. Judy, one infinity, 0 something. Yeah, the strawberry moon's beautiful. And tonight we had really negative numbers on the solar storm, and it was going to be really good, and then it got back into the plus side now. So if you look at the solar storm numbers, once they go plus, that means if you see a really heavy green area over your area, and then it pushes back, that means that the solar numbers go up, which means it's not good to see the solar northern lights. Gracie, thank you. You know, and I certainly wanted to see them, but it's not happening. They just do their thing. Hey, no chance. Lucas, good to see you. I salute you too, brother. Hey, Mike Truth. Blessings to you, brother. You know, blessings to everybody. Karma, Alien. I like that. Maya, good to see you. Hey, Jojo. You know, it's good to see everybody here. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you again. Good evening, Deb. I hope you had a good day. And I really hope everybody had a good day. Because now we're done with Wednesday, and now we're going towards the weekend on Thursday, getting to Friday, and there we are. What are you going to do? Definitely algorithm monitoring. Oh, the algorithm's monitoring. I believe it. Hey, Lexicon, good to see you, brother. Yeah, we were looking at that earlier on the solar storm thing, and it just in New England it was really good, and then like middle of the evening, the green went away from southern New England back up, and then it ended up going higher on the levels. Thank you for the goat, Mike. Kona 24, good to see you. One of the things to do on this show is we always do everything out of the cosmic box. You'll never see me put things in a box. I mean, I can look at 10,000 government stories right now and talk about what this person said to that person and what they're going to say to that person. And after a while, they just keep saying it. And it goes over and over and over again until you say, well, what are they talking about? Right? Am I getting sensor symptoms? I would say so. How about you? I would say, that's happening. And what I'm really finding out is that what's really true, the truth is, now we're going to find out who is really ready for what's going to be happening at some point, whenever it's going to be happening, and those that are going to go like, I can't handle it. I don't know what to do, with the ascension symptoms. Yeah, that's a good point. I think we all are feeling it. Have I ever been on a hover bed in the ship? If I had been, I don't know. Honestly, Wayne, I don't remember a whole lot. I always tell people, I just, for some reason, once in a while, I'll remember things, but, some people like me, I have a lot of knowledge, but I don't remember everything. So I wouldn't remember that. If it did happen, there'd have to be something to shake up my memory on that part, but I can't remember. Have you? Have you been on one of those things? Hey, Crystal Marie. Paul, good to see you. Dale Hunt, welcome to the show, everybody. Cheryl B. Hey, Cheryl B. Hey, City Girl. Good to see you. Hello, City Girl. Mountain Mama. Hey, Mountain Mama. Good to see you. Thank you for the follow, City Girl. We appreciate you. Benko. Hey, good evening. Tom Shap, 137. Katrina. Hey, Katrina. I think it is T3R3SAA. In between sleep and awake, I feel like I slipped to a different timeline. I believe that. Now, that's something I think I've had happen. Like I'm between sleep and awake, and I just don't understand where I am in that sense. I could say, April, I've been there too. Hey, Lebo, good to see you, sister. Jared. Agzilla, good to see you. Let's see. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for the popular thing. Thank you so much. We appreciate all of you. And you know that. Salty Dog, welcome back, Salty Dog. Tina, I think it's Iggy MKC. Hey, Relic, good to see you, sister. I hope you and your better half are doing well. And everybody out there, Linda Love. Let's see, Magic and Mayhem. Welcome, Magic. P. I love looking at the different people coming in. Sally Joe. Ripley. Hey, Ripley. Thank you for the share. And feel free, if you have good people you want to have share the live with, Holly K, welcome to the show. We appreciate you. Gary Wadford, I think it is. Papa, welcome back. Deb, thank you for the share. Ruby, welcome to the show. And always at the beginning of the show, I like to do these welcoming things. Mary Joyce, welcome. Thank you, David. We appreciate you. We love you too, brother. Jay Coolcat, let's see, Notorious. Hey, Notorious CT57. Hey, Pink T. Yeah, Vanco. Yeah, that I posted. I didn't record it. I posted it. I've had to educate people about that area of the country because some people thought it was like a big city, but the area that it's in, and my guest is a truck driver. It was in Needle, California, which is a very small little town near in Southern California. Near the Mojave Desert. It's near it. There's really nothing there. So these people that say, oh, I'm showing a big city. I didn't record it. It wasn't a big city. And people need to learn the geography where Needles, California is. And you'll see that the thing was, as my guest has stated, they were panning and recording a very large mothership. So there are going to be people that say, oh, that's not real. That's not real. It's not CGI. The thing is the real deal. That is probably one of the best Banco videos of a spaceship I've ever seen anywhere. I don't care whether it's YouTube or whatever. I'll stand by that video because it is real. And the person has more recordings of these things. It's pretty amazing. And Ralph says, is it me or all these UAP drones almost flying into stars and even the moon like crazy? Never know. Yeah, Needles is a very small town. You see, the thing is, when people look at the video, I've actually commented on the video that I posted for people that told me I should be ashamed of posting a video that's a big city, when in fact, if they take the time to do the research of where that Needles is, it's a really tiny, small little town between the Arizona and on the California side of the border in the Mojave Desert. See, I do the research. You know, I encourage everyone to look at that video when you get a chance. It again, for me, and I'm sure there'll be more impressive videos from people. It is the most impressive UFO footage, if you want to call it a UFO, a large UFO. I call it as they stated on their title, certainly a mothership. And that the actual video, he talks about how by morning the thing was gone. It wasn't there anymore. It just poof. It was no longer there. It was pretty amazing. I don't know. It's going up slowly, April. I'm not sure. But you know what? Recently, since TikTok, when TikTok had the blackout, when they went down and came back up, TikTok was never the same as it was before. And everybody's numbers are down since TikTok came back up a few months ago. For a few hours, they went down. If you remember that, the numbers have gone completely different. But you know what? We deal with what we deal with, and it's all good. Kit Kat, yeah, it was amazing, that video. You know? Yeah. And I've realized there's going to be the people that are haters out there, and thank goodness I got a strong spirit. You know, I've been doing this for a long time, and I just keep pushing on. Hey, Blue Avian, good to see you. U.S. App Store users app? EU App Store, EU app? What's the Blue Avian? Is the Blue Avian a real person? Hey, Blue Avian, good to see you. Welcome to Encounters. Oh, good to have you with us. Hey, Kit Kat, let's see, BTTFF fan. The video, Dave, is on my main profile page where all my videos are. That I've shared videos of things that are really good. You'll see the video. Frequency is everything. Frequency is everything was my guest last night, and the video is on there. You'll see it, and it's an extraordinary video, right on the border of Arizona, in a really, really desolate area. It was posted. I posted it about 2 days ago or 2 nights ago? Yeah, you know. And one thing I will say this is that as things get more serious about these things happening, there's going to be more people, I'm sure, around the world that are going to have these amazing recordings. And because they're amazing, the people, you know, and I'm a healthy skeptic, but the people that will look at these things and say that can't be possible. But that's why I can ask questions where things were recorded. You know, if someone says it's recorded, you know, in this area, and I looked at a Google map as to see where this area was originally, quietly. I mean, that's a highly unpopulated area in Southern California. Thank you for the heart, me. So that's the thing with me as being a former news person. I do the research, but I also know that the videos are accurate, and it is, again, it's one of those things. If you look at the video over and over again, and you think it's a city, it's not. It's a multi-lit up mothership, like a firecracker. This thing is as big as I've ever seen a thing be. And we're always looking for the smoking gun of a UFO sighting. And like I said, there's a lot of beautiful things people are recording. A lot of people are recording orbs. Some people are recording other kinds of weird craft or plasma type craft. All kinds of stuff's going on. Hey, Calico, good to see you. Yeah, you know, so, yeah, I can show the video again. How many people would like me to re-show the video? Would people like to see the video again who have not seen it, and people that have seen it, would you like to see it again? Hey, Karen, good to see you. I'll go by the consensus of the audience. No, because I know that, okay. You know, I want to do, let's get in here, home minute. And when you see this, I can narrate it really well because I posted it. And I only post the real stuff. I think that kind of a mothership is going to show itself to the person. Frequency is everything, has a connection with them. He's been having these visual things happen for the last 5 years. It really is amazing. I'm surprised the video didn't go viral, because it is amazing. But then again, we're talking with TikTok, TikTok has been kind of suppressing UFO stuff a lot, you know. But we'll show it again. Let me get in here. Yeah, it is. Yeah, Judith, you're right. I mean, I have no trouble looking at it over and over again because it is that kind of a thing. So I'm going to go to the video here. Let me get it set up. And I'll turn the light off here. We're going to go to the video so people who had not been able to see it can see it. All right, give me a second here. You're watching Encounters, and it's good to have you all here with us. Let me just do this here. No, I don't want the background thing. Let me do this. No, I don't want to do that either. Okay, here we go. All right, we're going to show you the video right now. And again, this video never gets old, so take a look at this. Let me just do this here, hold on. And you can see it again. You're going to see how big this thing is. Now, this is not a city. The first thing people are going to say, oh, that's a city somewhere. No, it's not a city. That's a mothership on the California side of the border of Arizona in a place called Needles. If you look up Needles, California, it's a really small kind of town. All right. And my friend, he's a truck driver. He's had contact for 5 years. And I'm showing this to you. And I know there'll be people that say, oh, it can't be possible. This is not CGI. This is recorded at night by Frequencies Everything. So I'm showing it again so people can see it. I mean, it's lit up like a firecracker. It's amazing. If this is not the most amazing UFO video on the internet, I don't know what is. You got to be honest. It is absolutely amazing. Everybody who's seriously, any TikTok person who's seriously out there for the truth, you need to come in here and look at this video. It's going to blow your mind. The thing was with him all night. I don't know how low it was or whatever, but he videotaped it. By morning, the thing was gone. The whole thing just disappeared. It was gone, completely gone. That's right. This is the most spectacular footage on social media. This is better than anything on YouTube. Better than anything on TikTok right now. Let me bring it up closer. The commander only posts real stuff. No CGI, no, AI videos or whatever. This is real stuff. I have a lot of people that are not on TikTok, friends of mine that want to see the video, so I'm sending copies of the video to people who don't use TikTok, who are really very serious people in the subject. His page is Frequency is Everything, Ash. If you go to Frequency is Everything, you can follow him. This is the first time he posted the video on his page, and we put it on our YouTube, on our page here. And I think we'll put it on our YouTube channel too. Hey, Lynn, good to see you. So I want everybody who's coming in here to see this thing. This is a spaceship. It was over the other night over an area near the Mojave Desert in Needles, California, on the border of California and also the border of Arizona. And there's another ship above it. See the smaller ship, the light up there? That's a smaller ship, and the bigger ship is right below it. There's a smaller ship that was lit up in the video just a second ago, and there's the large ship. Okay. No, it's not bogus. And this person only has 1 follower, so that tells me they're a troll. I took the person with the 1 follower, and I took him out. The commander's not playing games with these little people with 1 follower. You know they're trolls. Whoops. Let me just get back in here. Hold on. The commander is a tough cookie, man. You start pulling garbage in Encounters, you're out of here. The original video is John on Frequency is Everything. Frequency is Everything is the person. You can follow him, and I'm sure he's going to start posting more stuff. He'll be back on again. He's got more footage. He has a lot of footage, and we're going to hopefully get more footage here to share. So, breaking UFO news, this is it. People say, when are they coming? When are they going to be here? This is a pure example of what, if this is anything like what it's going to be like, and this is one ship, could you imagine when we eventually, whenever it is, they decide to say, here we are, I bet the whole planet's going to be lit up like a firecracker. I really do. I love I'm looking at this thing. I've never seen a mothership to begin with, and this thing is lit up like a firecracker. Can you imagine how big it is inside? Hey, Wayne, what were you saying, Wayne? I didn't catch it. I'm so focused on what I'm saying here. It's like I thought it's like a city within the ship. Yeah, massive. I'm just going to go back on the light here. So that's it. If we might show it later on again, but it is definitely one of the things. Now I'm going to focus back on the comments. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, so that's from the interview. That's from his video on his page. Oh, you're welcome. April, that could be, we sometimes get concerned about that, right? I don't think they were ever coming to save us. I think they're coming to interconnect with us. I think we need to save ourselves. With everything going on in the world that's so crazy in the 3D world now, and there is a lot of crazy stuff going on, we need to really, really kind of be in touch with who we are. Thank you, Stargazer. I don't know if it was actually on the ground. I think it wasn't. It was close to the ground level, but I'm not sure it was actually on the ground because there wasn't, where that is, there's like only a small little town called Needles, California. If you look at the map of Needles in the area, there's nothing really there at all. So when people were saying, oh, that's got to be a city. Then I had to educate people that's not a city when it was recorded by the person that recorded it, who travels all over the country and is a truck driver. Hey, Frequency is the one who actually recorded. Hey, Carlos Mendez, good to see you, brother. Yeah, and I'm sure that those things are going to happen more with him. He has a sort of a relationship, I think, with whoever they are. Yeah, that's right. They're coming to help us, David. Absolutely correct. And that's the one thing for years when people talk about it in the UFO community, in the lightworker community, whatever, the space people, whenever they come, they are here to a certain extent. But when they do physically come, they're not coming here to save us. But they are coming here to work with us so that we can know what to do to help our planet ourselves. And that's the one thing that we are going to have to learn, is that we have to be the stewards of our planet. I'm sure they're stewards of their own planets where they come from. So if we're stewards of our own planet, it makes it much better for us to be able to proceed and go forward and do that kind of stuff. Hey, Julian, good to have you with us, brother. So I think we've come a long way, and I think we're doing, more, beautiful than we've ever thought we could do. I think we're all in this together, and I always say that. All of us in the viewership, people around the world, people that don't have TikTok, who are involved in all of this, we're all in this together. We're all going to make it a better place. It doesn't seem like it's easy, but it won't be. Of Colombia. Oh, interesting. Hey, Calico, I'm going to have to do that. Yeah, it'd be kind of nice, spiritual abstract, to have world peace. With all the craziness in the world, and when I see it, and I do, I'm just looking for the day when we can just live as a planet of peace. No more wars, no more hate, no more greed, no more jealousy, no more people acting like children. Just a place where we all can come together and finally realize the bigger picture is not only our planet, but the universe in which we live in. And hopefully one day we'll get there. King Star says contact is imminent. So I love that comment. So I want to, King Star, let me see if I can bring you up here, brother, if you want to come up. And we're all talking about it more and more now, especially this year. A lot of people we're discussing on our show quite often. So Kingstar, if you'd like to come up, you're welcome to join us. People have to be over 18, no kids on the show, no smoking, no vaping, no drinking, no cursing, let's see, no trolls. I think there's a lot. Hey, sometimes it's me. You're not late at all. Welcome. Aries Fire, welcome. So I think we're getting to a point where there are some people in the UFO community that think we're never going to have contact, and they exist. You know, they've always existed, even before TikTok or Facebook or YouTube, whatever. There's been the naysayers that, oh, we're not going to have any contact. They're not interested in contacting us. They are not interested, whoever they are, you know. But the fact of the matter is, yes, they are interested in contacting us. Hey, Alien Doll, good to see you, sister. You know, and we're going to randomly bring some of our friends up here. King Star, why don't you come on up, brother? We'd love to have you on here. Laura, welcome to the show. And I want to get people's different perspectives about what they think about contact. I want to get your opinions. No matter when you woke up, if you're a person that's only 30, or a person that is 50 or 60, or a person that might be, 45, doesn't matter. So how many, if you want to share what you feel about contact, why do you feel contact is imminent? Why do you feel we're going to have contact? I think that's a great thing to discuss, because there's various viewpoints, and I love people sharing their viewpoints besides stories. What do you think? And when do you think, do you feel contact is going to happen, and why do you think it's going to happen? These are all really important issues, I think, or areas to discuss. Laura, thank you. I appreciate that. In my adult life, I felt that we were going to have contact eventually. I couldn't project that much into the future. Yeah, Debbie, too. I agree with you. I hope soon, before we have no Earth left. And there are forces on Earth, whether we'd like to, in the UFO community, talk about it or not. I will talk about it. There are forces on the Earth that are trying to make sure we don't have contact. They're trying to make sure that we live in a crazy world that is all mixed up. We don't know what we're doing, and we're falling over each other. That would be the negative energy that influences some human beings. They don't realize they're influenced by it, or they do, or they're working with that energy. So, these things are occurring, these things are happening, but we who know about this stuff need to be steadfast in what we do know and be strong. And right now, you have to have a strong cosmic spirit with all the garbage going on. You need to have that spirit, because there are going to be situations on our planet that are just there to absolutely put you down, shoot you down, and put you to the ground. Not happening. You're all beautiful people. You all have your own intelligence, your own consciousness. And for me, it's always been about liberation of consciousness, And if you are a liberated consciousness, you don't have to be part of the mass structure of people that are unconsciously walking around the city streets of New York or Paris or whatever, but they are fully awakened, You never know, Relic. Who knows? Anything within the imagination is possible, Who knows? But I do know there are certain conferences around the country, like Contact in the Desert. It's one of them. That's one of the better ones, where people are coming together and talking about these things. Not all the UFO conferences talk about these things. I think they talk about, some of them more scientific, some are less scientific, But the ones that are progressive have people that are thinking out of the box, so to speak. And in this time period, we have to think out of the box. Julian says, my friends laugh at me when I tell them about my UFO videos I have. And you know what, Julian? Look at it this way. They can laugh at you all they want, but in the end of the day, you're going to have the last laugh in the most positive way. Rogue, thank you so much, sister. Good to see you, by the way, Rogue. And, so I think a lot deeply about the subject. And April, I think so too. And I've watched documentaries where, they show you people play acting, in these documentaries on Discovery Channel over the years. And the hybrids, they get to see their parents. The parents get to see their hybrid kids, and then they have to leave. They can't take the kid with them off the ship. And these are hybrid children. And I've seen a number of really interesting docudramas about that. So yeah, there's a lot of these things going on, and a lot more of it happening now than ever before. Whoever thought we'd live to 2025, the year 2025, with all the Cold War. I mean, I grew up in the Cold War, so we always never knew if the next day we were going to be here. We never knew whether we were going to exist. If you grew up through the 60s and 70s, before the 1980s, you said, are we going to be here? Is there going to be like a Cold War where we're just going to be fighting each other? And they have the weapons, the nuclear weapons, were the worst creation of these scientists. The scientists that created those weapons, by the way, some of them actually regretted the Manhattan Project, regretted what they created. Do I think the Anunnaki are bad? Historically, from my understanding from people I've talked to in some studies, they were not good originally, but then again, evidently they're good now. They weren't good originally, but things happened where they transformed their consciousness, and they've been around a long time, probably longer than we have, so they were able to go from not being very good people or beings to now being on the opposite end of the spectrum. So I think from my studies, I would say yes, they're actually good now versus what they were historically before. And everybody's interested in the Anunnaki. History Channel's had many programs on it. Ancient Aliens has done programs on it. So yeah, from what I understand now, yes. And Tony, that's right. Hopefully we can become good people. And isn't that something we as human beings aspire to become good people? I would say so, yes. Yeah, the scalar weapons, HARP. Hey, Joan, very good point. Those were used to take out UFOs. I've had guests on here talked about it that were in the military that had some security clearance, and the scalar weapons took down a lot of things, including the Roswell 1947 crash in July of 1947 was taken down by a scalar weapon. The HARP project, which been around for years, has been used for that purpose. Hey, Wandering Unity, thank you for the send cool thing. Pollywood, welcome. What about the Orion group? Is that real? The Orions are real. We've had a lot of discussions over the last couple of years here about the Orions. And some people think in the Orion system there are good ones and there are negative ones. Just like on Earth, we have good people and then we have negative people. So you put 10 people in the room and 5 of them in the other room are like totally negative. The other 5 are being real positive. Our Earth is a mixture of good and negative. It really is. We have people on this planet that are out there to destroy the planet, either by verbal destruction of consciousness or by destruction with weapons. Then we have the other side of it. There are people that are peaceful and harmonious, that live their day just enjoying hearing the birds chirp, going for a hike in the woods, and don't want to do anything but live harmoniously on the planet. You have 2 types of things going on our planet. And that would be what would be said for other planets. Are artistic people special? I would say yes, but I haven't really studied it. But yes, I would say they're extremely smart. But I've never really studied it. Great question. But I'll be honest, I've not studied that area. The spheres from space people. I would say in my studies over the last few years with all this happening with the spheres, both the spheres that are translucent and the ones that are metallic, I would say 95% of them are from the space people. Yeah, they are very smart. The autistic people are certainly smart. I've seen documentaries about them. Gigi Daniels, good to see you. Welcome to the show. Carol Ann, welcome. Could have Cozy Michael. Hey, Cozy Michael. Buttermilk, I think it is. Welcome. Randy Lafferty. Hey, Denise. Welcome to the show. Hey, Gigi. Let's see. Thy something. Cherish. Welcome, Cherish. all the beautiful people around the world living luxury. I like that. That's a good name. So you're watching Encounters, and this is your host, CmdrAleon. Here I've been in the subject area, or I've been in the mission or the liberation for a lot of times. TG High says, tell me a bedtime story? We're not there yet. It's not time to go to bed, unless it's like really late. We are. But there's so much going on in our world right now, and we have to be the ones in the community that are awakened here, hey Tia, that could actually help others. So it's not, one thing with the UFO community in this world that we live in over the years, I've noticed that we get really fixated on who has something at the conference to share, what's the latest book out there. In the end of the results, the books are really helpful, but what's really more important than that is that if the totality of the UFO community, hey Rosie, just here to have disclosure of the fact that there are life forms in other worlds beyond Earth, or are we here to do more than just say, wow, now we've gotten everybody saying they're UFOs, they exist, they're here, now what? Now, once that's given, once the government, if they ever do this, tell us the truth that they have had contact with intelligences beyond Earth, that's a big deal. I don't think they'll ever do it, but if they ever did, that's a big deal. The question is, why, for the life of me, has all the world governments that have departments dealing with the subject been not forthright and forthcoming on the information over the years that they have? Why are they so afraid that the public can't handle it? And they are. Yeah, they work, that's right, Cat Life, they work with the Zeta. Why are the world governments that have departments afraid that billions of people cannot handle the truth? Their whole analogy is basically that if we told the people the truth, they would freak out. The people wouldn't be able to handle it. I don't believe that for a second. Joan says, Eisenhower supposedly cried. Swaggy Brown says, panic. Yep, that's one of the common themes that seems to be for years. That's the thing, the panic, that whole thing. Carol Ann says, we have been informed that 7 species are in contact with us. Swaggy says unrest. That's definitely a possibility too. And because there are people out there that are going to react a certain way. They will. They can certainly react a certain way in terms of what's going on. And but at the end of the day, Carol Ann says by 27 they are supposed to be revealed. I'm going to bring Carol Ann up. Carol, would you like to come up? I'd love to talk to you. Carol, I'm trying to follow you here. Carol, if you'll press the guest button on your TikTok, I'd love to hear your opinion more verbally about the 2027 thing. There's a guest icon here. If you press it, you can be accepted as a guest on the show. We'll bring you up here if you want to come up. And so we appreciate that. I wish I could tell you all. Oh, Wayne, I appreciate that. Let me see. I'm just looking at people's comments here for a minute. I'm still too shy. You're still too shy to go live. Okay, when you're ready, you let me know. Jersey for Life, good to see you. Elaine, welcome. Peaceful Lilith. Hey, anything new? Hey, Blue Dot, good to see you. Everything's new. Every night's new. So I'm sure you'll find stuff here as we speak that is new. Cat Life says it's a prime directive, I suppose. Ray says it's all about our collective frequency. Absolutely correct. Oh, but we'll talk. Okay. Hey, Peaceful, good to see you. Let's see here. Hey, Jersey for Life. I'm just thank you for the roses, Gary. I have met now you got me here. I love it. Carol says I have met multidimensional beings. Boy, I'll tell you, I wish you would come up just on audio, just to talk on audio without your face. I'd love to have you on here, but I understand. So Carol's saying she's met multidimensionals. So Carol, tell us what the multidimensionals look like. Oh, your barber saw you on my show last time. Interesting that your barber watches my show. That's pretty cool. And Caroline says, I've seen many UFOs. I'm very interested in Carol's story. I know she's got a story to tell. So if you just want to type it, Carol, that's fine, until you feel less shy. Wandering Unity Secret, I wish Zeta didn't do all the cloning and ruin their reproduction. Such a problem for us now. That is true, Wandering. You know, we don't think about it, but we are also a planet that is able to clone. We've been able to clone for how many years now? So we have to be careful, because if we're able to clone, we might end up doing the same. Well, I don't think we will, but we might end up cloning ourselves into the same existence that the Zeta did to themselves when they were once human. Now they look less human. Even though they are physically able to be humanoid, they're not human. So yeah, we have to be careful with that. And Caroline, the multidimensional beings that you met, can you tell us a little bit about them? Yeah, DGs, you're right. You know, the DOD and all those people involved in those agreements, you're right. They're probably very worried about it, especially now. You know, you haven't had any contact for a while now, Cat Life. Carol says some have been here for a long time. Others are far from other planets. Interesting. Holly K, come on, Carol. Carol, see what I started? Everybody wants you to come up and talk on audio. I'll leave it to my audience to try to pep you up into coming up on audio. Says, Multi walked up to me in my breezy way and told me they would be here soon and not to be afraid. Swaggy Brown says, the one I recorded had lizard skin and white robes with symbols. Swaggy Brown, let's see if we can bring Swaggy Brown up here. I'm going to push the guest button. Swaggy, if you'd like to come up on Encounters, we'd love to hear you talk about your story. I know I'm going to get somebody up here. Let's see. Caroline says all would be okay. Hey, Teresa, good to see you, sister. So I started. Everybody wants you up here, Carol, and you don't have to come on camera. You can hide yourself, just audio, if you want to come up. Everyone's asking you to come up, so I'm just like watching what the comments are. Some reports describe Zeta human contact as part of a mutual lesson in polarity. Could be Wandering. And Melanie says, just be out the box, cause a one or dimensional being are very cardinal minds. Interesting. She said, Carolyn's saying about 5 feet tall and mostly blue and white lights. Interesting. Jeff is saying the chat's going too fast. Kimberly, hey, Kimberly. Good evening. Caroline, how do I do that? How do you do just going on audio? Just press the accept button on the guest thing. All you're going to be is hearing your voice, no face. So you can stay facially shy and just talk on audio. There's an actual guest button here. You'll see it on your TikTok if you decide to come up. Cal, my audience is not going to let you go. Swaggy Brown at work. Okay, Swaggy, you have to come on some night about that when you're not working. Dog people are the nicest. Do Blue, thank you. Okay, so Carol, just go to the guest option. Let me see if I can bring you up here. Where is she? Let's see if we can do this here. if I were able to follow you, I can probably bring you up right here on my end of it. So if you press the guest option, it's on your TikTok. I don't know where it's on your end of it. There's two little icons, people icons. And if you press the people icon, you'll be able to come into the box and go up. I'm pretty sure of it. Okay. Mm-hmm. Hey, Duke of Edinburgh, Grand Rising to you as well, brother. Let's see here. So I know everyone's no, definitely Swaggy. Tomorrow you want to do it? That's fine. 9 Central. I'm on 11, so you're Central. That would be 11, 10 Central. Let's see here. Red Face Warrior, welcome. Thank you, Kimberly, for letting me know where it is. So it's at the bottom of the page. So everything, all the different icons are at the bottom of your page. Lovely, good to see you. Hey, Joni, good to see you, Joni. Welcome. Candy Leon, welcome. Lakita, good to see you. Good evening. Rachel Brock, welcome. Regina, welcome to the show. So all these things, hey, Lakita, hey, Steve, all these things are happening to us right now. And it's going to get deeper and deeper as we go into the year. As we get in towards the end of the year, I think we're going to see even more incredible sightings from people that are recording things all over the world. So I think we're in for a lot of stuff. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, no worries. When it's supposed to happen, it will. Hey, Birdie, welcome to the show, Birdie. 59. Joe Cravens, welcome. And I'm very open with my audience about the subject, and I'm always interested. Hey, Mr. 007. Hey, Wayne, welcome back, Wayne. If anybody does have a story they've never shared, please don't feel hesitant to talk about your UFO story. It could be something current that you've had happen. It could be something that happened last year. Again, when I say UFO story, that could be anything from visitations to visual things happening. Hey, Mish Lynn, Uper 2001, welcome. So we'd love to hear your stories. I think we all learn from people's experiences. Connie, welcome. And by learning from those experiences, we say, oh, I've had something like that happen to me. I've had that kind of experience before. Or maybe it's the first time you've heard of it, Good evening, Starcia. Good to see you. Welcome. So, a spiked apple cider fat. That's, I'm running out of apple cider. I have to get more tomorrow. Judy McLean, good to see you. If you're new to this show, one of the things I've done for 3 years is I always have mostly a glass of apple cider with the show. Or natural lemonade is another new thing I'm dealing with. But anyway, Etheric, good to have you with us. Nora Zora, thank you for the roses. I'm always looking at the night sky to see if I see anything. I'm always looking and hoping to see something. Let's see. Cara M. Steve White. Welcome, Steve White. It's about 12 midnight. I can't believe it's already 12 midnight. Hey, I'll never conform. Good to see you, brother. King Cody. Remember, white circle, yellow, and orange mixed. John Ramirez. Good to see you, John. It's amazing how signs are sent to us, but most people just ignore them. Good point, Duke. You're given a sign, and you just don't realize it, and you don't think about it. Yeah, Teresa, I think that's true. I think it helps others open up, tell their stories, seeing it full support from a commander. So, and I've always believed as a talk show host in the subject, by hearing stories, I learn as much from the story as you do, So don't hold back your cosmic stories, your experiences, because we're all going to learn from those experiences. Moon Dancer, good to see you. Son, welcome. Hey, Lynn. Have a good night. Sleep well. We'll see you tomorrow night, Lynn. Take care. Thank you, Etheric. I appreciate the compliment. You know, and as people get to learn about the show, they're going to see that the real commander is the real deal in terms of what I do here. So, and we're very welcoming to new people. So, unlike some other things I've seen on TikTok, depending on the subject, it doesn't matter. The person will be a talking head, and there's no interaction. You know, we want to have interaction here. I think it's important. But when you think about the immense importance of what we're doing, here's somebody in the queue here. Carol Ann, oh wow, this is figured out how to get on here on audio. Now we're talking. We're gonna have some good stories here. Carol Ann, I'm so excited. Thank you for coming on. Can you hear me? Carol, you're on.
Yes.
Can you hear me? Oh, good. I want to say thank you. I can hear you very well. I want to thank you for coming on. And I think you're an incredible person, even though I haven't talked to you enough, and we're talking for the first time. Welcome, and tell us a little bit about your background and how all this thing started with the interdimensional beings. I'm very fascinated to hear what you have to say.
Okay. Well, I started my journey when I was about 4 years old. I lived in Africa, and my nanny was a witch doctor's daughter. So she taught me a lot of things, even though I was raised Catholic. And then I went to Switzerland and then Venezuela. And throughout my life, I've had many different contacts with many different species of humanoids as well as cryptids.
Yes.
So I was sitting in my breezeway about 3 years ago. I live out on a ranch now, open ranch out in Texas. Mm-hmm. And I was sitting in my breezeway and I was talking to my foreman's wife. And all of a sudden, I saw my gate open at the end of the driveway. And then I saw it close, and I thought I didn't see anybody opening it and closing it. And then all of a sudden, this bluish light, it was like a triangle-shaped head, a blue and white, bright light, more like an indigo blue, coming towards me. And it was about 5 feet tall, 4 or 5 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
And I got scared. And so it took a couple of steps backward and told me, don't worry. I'm not going to hurt you. I just want to tell you some things. And it said, everything's going to be all right. And we will be here soon. I said, well, who are you?
Yeah, who are you?
This is about...
What year was that?
Let's see. I want to say 2022.
2022.
But I may be off. But somewhere around that time.
I'm going to let you continue. I just wanted to get a time frame.
Yeah, 2022, I'd say. Guesstimate. But since then, I've done a lot of CE5s, Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. I've had a couple of them done here out at the ranch, and I've seen ships and all sorts of things. When my son was 12, he's 42 now, I was out at I have a lake. I have 800 acres, so I was out at my lake, and all of a sudden it got dark, real dark. And I looked up, and there was a triangular ship above me. And I tried to get the kids to come in to look. And as they turned around to look towards me, a fish jumped out of the water about 5 or 6 feet from the water onto one of the kids' fishing lines. And by the time they turned around, the ship was gone.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, going back to the multidimensional, I was sitting out there and I was talking to my ranch hand's wife, and she didn't see it. She did not see it. She just looked at me and said my face just turned every shade of white that it could possibly turn. And so I I had this fear at first, and then I thought, well, why am I afraid? Fear is false evidence appearing real. So I stepped away from that, and then it came back towards me and started talking to me and told me everything was going to be all right, not to worry, that they would be here soon. Well,
Hmm.
since then, I have learned the Pentagon knows uh, uh, they know 5 species here in the United States: tall whites, a couple of grays, Pleiadians, Arcturians, and I think that's all the U.S. knows. And then over when I lived in Venezuela, there were a couple of other species that I happened to um, visualize. Didn't know what they were, but happened to visualize. I know for a fact from dealing with people who have had contact with them that there's at least 7 species that are known of in the world.
Hmm.
Yes, I've had some exciting experiences in my life. I've seen some things that people would never believe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know. But I think it's
How's it?
part of my. I'm
Yeah.
74 right now, so I've been doing this for 70 years.
Oh
Um,
wow.
yeah, and I think it's partially because I had a nanny from Africa who came from a tribe, and then I had my mother who was Catholic, so I went to convents for the first 10 years of my life. And then
Hmm.
after that, I always had a nanny with me because my dad used to travel extensively, and she taught me a lot of things.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know there's a lot to your history because in your 70 years, you've got a lot that has happened. So
Oh,
with the internet interdimensional beings, um, I'm thinking you've had more than one round with them in terms of you've been in contact. So when we think about contact, and I would say would be in that realm of a contact deal in part of your life or most of what's happening on this level.
mhm.
Um, have they physically, like to mention the thing coming through the gate and the being coming to you? Um, have you met many physical beings on a physical level communicating with you?
I have had contact with things that I still to this day do not believe that I saw.
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
um, but I wasn't the only one who saw them and saw
Hmm.
some of the actions and things that took place. So I lived in South America for a while in Venezuela, and we went to this one place in Venezuela called the Montaña Mágica, Montaña de las Brujas, Magical Mountain or Witch Mountain.
Hmm.
And every year they get together for about 2 weeks. It just happens to fall around Halloween time is when they get together. And I didn't go at that time, but I went at another time. And you have to take a donkey with you and climb all day long. And
Oh
then you
wow.
sleep out under the stars, but you don't really see the stars because there's so much
Yeah.
vegetation around you. When you fall asleep, you feel like something's crawling under your skin, under your sleeping
Hmm.
bag, because you're literally sleeping on a forest floor that's covered with dense leaves and all sorts of things that have fallen from the sky or
Yeah.
trees.
Yeah.
And yeah, we got up the next day. We got up and continued our trip up to the mountain, up the top. And I mean, this sounds like I'm tripping, but I wasn't. Okay, there was a man standing there with a burlap shirt on, and he had a pocket in his left hand side, and he had a corn pipe in his pocket. And he said, "We all needed to have a puff of the flower that was blooming on the waters." Well, it said it said if everybody took a puff of it, and later I looked at it, it was just a water lily.
Right.
Is all it was a water lily, a beautiful pink and white water lily. And we all took a puff, and there was only one person in the whole group that the flowers didn't blossom for, so he wasn't allowed to get on the it was like a raft with ropes tied to it, so you could pull yourself along. And so we got to the other side, and then we passed by this archway where water is falling. Okay. And the water was like, it looked like red wine.
Hmm.
I figured it had to do with rust in the water or iron or whatever, but it was red wine colored. And all the rocks around it looked like little pointillism pictures all over the rocks. It was all these different colors, dot like colors. I wasn't tripping, you
I
know.
believe that.
And we got to this little town, and there was a lady sitting there, and she was sitting there with her legs crossed, and there was a bottle of rum on the table in front of her. And all of a sudden, that bottle of rum just went straight to her mouth. She did not pick it up with her hands or anything. I mean,
Interesting.
yeah, it was. It was, it was all just mind, I guess, that she was able to do that.
Yeah, it sounds like
Since
it.
then, I have tried bending spoons and being partially successful. I
Mm-hmm.
have tried levitation. Somebody tried to levitate me, and I was able to get off the ground about 6 inches.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had some many unusual experiences in my life. I'm
It sounds
classified
like
normal, okay?
you're
Not
classified
nuts.
normal. Okay.
But yeah, we all have the power within us. We just have to all realize that we are one. We are all a collective. We are not individuals as we've been taught
Mm.
or as we have been reverse taught, is what I call
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
We have been, as a kid, you go, oh, look, mom, look at that over there. No, that doesn't exist. That's not
Yeah.
true. Things
Yeah.
do exist. We have open eyes. We've just been told not to believe.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very fortunate. I had people who told me to believe.
Oh, you had people telling you to believe. That's interesting.
Yes. And that's why I think my eyes have been more, and my ears, and I'm a clairsentient as well, so I can smell things before they
Mm-hmm.
happen. I
Mm.
can feel things. People walk into my perimeter, and I can tell whether they're sick or not,
That's
um,
interesting.
and what sickness they have. So I've been very fortunate to hone my gifts throughout my lifetime, and I'm still working on it.
You're doing a good job. So do you think, and this, I have so many questions. Do you think, you're watching Encounters, everybody? This is the real show called Encounters, and our guest is Carol Ann, and she's a fascinating guest, and we're talking about her experiences with interdimensional beings and other areas. Do you think the gifts that you have or the abilities that you have are something that all humans have, but you just became
Yes,
aware of them? That,
yes,
people say that we do have abilities, but we just don't know how to activate our abilities.
yeah. We all have it. I mean, every
Hmm.
single one of us has it. It's
Yeah.
just we have to accept the fact that we are not individuals as we have been taught to be. We are a
Yeah.
collective. We are one.
Yeah.
It's one of the 12 universal laws. We are one.
We are one. Yeah.
Another one is love is so important. You know, some for example, when you drive down, this is a silly one, but it works. You're driving down the street, somebody pulls in front of you. Instead of flipping him the finger and cursing at him, go, I send you love and
Right.
kisses, and send them
Right.
love and
That.
kisses. It'll change your mind and change your way of thinking.
Ah, yes. And by sending them love and kisses instead of the finger and cursing and yelling at them, they might have been ready to be angry at you. But once you do that, you like defuse the person's situation, and they don't know what to do because now you're saying, peace, love, and light, and they're like, what?
Yeah, yeah. And I've had people pull me over on the side of the road. A couple of times it's happened, and
Yeah.
said, and I thought, okay, don't have fear, Carol, don't have fear. And I've pulled over and talked to them, and they've said they were so grateful that I sent them that love because they had had such a bad day,
Yeah.
or they'd had a fight with their wife or husband or whatever. I mean, two
Hmm.
people have done that to me. One was a man, one was a woman.
Yeah.
And I've just been so fortunate to have people come up to me, at grocery stores. People come up to me and go, you have a light around you. Well,
Yeah.
everybody does. It's
Yeah. We all
whether
do,
we
right?
hone it or not.
Yeah, isn't it interesting, Carol, that human nature, when we talk about this subject, we talk about, I hope the good people will come and help us. We have good people on our planet, and we also know the other side.
Hmm.
But if we hone in on the good things that you're talking about in your life experience, it makes it a little bit different. If we, instead of like wanting to get entangled in a battle of verbal abuse or whatever, and we say, no, I'm not going to do that. I think I'm going to tell the person, okay, it's okay to be who you are. And I know you're having maybe a bad day or something else in your life happened and you're taking it out on me or whatever, but it's okay because I know
Hmm.
something in your childhood affected you as an adult. And hey, look, if you want to have a cup of coffee or breakfast with me, let's sit down and talk. And that would be a better approach than the approach of I'm gonna, be angry and
Hmm.
upset, and this is going to be entangled engagement.
Another thing people have a tendency to do in general is suppose they trip, let's say you stub your toe on the bed,
Hmm.
okay? And you go, oh, I'm so stupid. No, stop that. You're not stupid,
Right.
okay? People have got to stop putting themselves down. If something like that happens, laugh at it. Say,
Yeah.
hey, it was just a moment, but I'm okay. Everything's
Right.
great, you know, and your life will be blessed. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
74 years old. I have had the most blessed life. I've lived all over the world. I've traveled. I had a wonderful career in many different aspects,
Hmm.
banking, and aerospace. It's about everything you can think of.
Right.
Languages, I've been a
Wow.
translator. Um, so, it's just the way you look at things. You've got to look at
Hmm.
things with a positive light. And whenever something goes bad, say, this is an experience. It's blessing me.
Yeah, absolutely. That's amazing. And you're a
There's
world
never a bad
traveler.
day. A
Yeah.
day is a
Yeah.
lesson,
Yeah.
you know?
It really is.
Hmm.
One of the things. Hey, look, we're all human beings. We all have those days, where we step into a situation where someone's like on a highway, and I've seen it happen to me over the years. And I'll say, "What the heck?" And then the next thing you know, 2 seconds later, after saying "What the heck," I'm like, "It's all right. They're doing their thing. Whatever they're doing, they seem to have to do it. I'm just going to stay where I am in my lane and be comfortable and get where I'm going to get to eventually. And so
Hmm.
you realize that there's two ways you can react to that situation as a human being. You could be road rage reacting and say, "Oh, I'm going to get that person," or you can say, "No, you know what? They're whatever kind of day they're having. They got to do what they're doing, going in and out of lanes. It's crazy to me, but if they got to do it, I'm not going to be part of it and just stay where I am.
And the funny thing, science has proven that people who are trying to speed and get to the next light before you or
Hmm.
wind around you, their chances of killing themselves or hurting somebody else, I guess I shouldn't say that word,
Yeah. Yeah, we got to be
unliving
careful. Yeah.
themselves, okay, or someone else, increases tremendously. And yet,
Hmm.
they're only anywhere between 2 to 4 seconds closer to their destination.
Right. And it's always, that's actually true. So you wonder
Hmm.
why people are in a rush. I never understood
Hmm.
why we as people have to be in a rush somewhere. Why can't we just
It's bad for
enjoy
your
the moment?
heart. It's bad for your
It
heart.
really is.
It's bad for everything. Just sometimes when you feel like you need to rush, stop. Sit in
Yeah.
your car, turn on your air conditioner if it's hot, turn on your heater if it's cold, and then just sit, look at the sky and breathe. Breathe through your nose and
Yes.
exhale through your mouth.
Yeah. Absolutely. And you
Just
have a very
relax a bit.
calming voice too. You have a
Well,
very
thank you.
calming voice. You really do, and you can tell listening to you that you would be a joy to be around and talk for hours about things because you have that sensibility. Being a world traveler, you've seen many different things in your life, and your experiences with the interdimensional beings. Do you think the experience you had with the I can't speak English tonight. Maybe I'll speak ET. But
Mhm.
do you think having the experiences over time that the interdimensional beings helped you with understanding the universe better?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I had a very understanding father. When we left Africa, I got malaria, and then
Hmm.
I got the chicken pox, and then I got the
Hmm.
mumps. So for about 3 months, I was out, and I missed school when we were transferring over to Switzerland. So my dad said, "Okay, she's going to miss school. We'll have to set her back a year. Why don't we just take her, you and your mother, go and travel around the world?" Which is what we
Yeah.
did. We left Africa, went up to Egypt. Matter of fact, that's another story I'll have to tell you about later. But we went up to Egypt, and then we went all the way around to India, and then, the islands and Japan
Hmm.
and Hong Kong. We did Hong Kong, Japan. Let's see, where else did we go? We went to Hawaii, and then we flew to the States, and then my mother and I drove across the straits back down to Texas to
Oh
visit
wow.
family, and then Daddy and I and Mom drove up from Texas up to New York, and then we caught a plane to Switzerland. And I did that for
Hmm.
about 10, for about, I guess it was 8 months, 8 months, I guess it was, until I started school again.
Hmm.
But going back to Egypt, when I was in Egypt, the first time I was 8 years old, second time I was 10, a little over 10. And when I was 8 years old, I told my mother, I said, "Mom, something is humming." She says, "No, no one's humming." I go, "Yes, Mom, the ground is humming." And then just last month, they came out and they said that they found those huge columns underneath
The pyramids, yeah,
the
in
pyramids.
Giza, yeah.
I felt it. I felt
You
it. I
felt
knew
you.
something was underneath it. But I kept
Hmm.
it all my life. People are going, "No, no, no, no." I knew there was something there.
You felt it. You actually
I
felt it.
felt it. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And what do you think about that? Because that's fascinating. When that story came out about 2 months ago or whatever,
Uh-huh.
um, there are people that are using AI images to imagine what was below there, and some of the
Mm-hmm.
AI images suggest that there was a whole civilization underneath the pyramids that lived within the earth. Well, I mean, not all the way within the earth, but below the pyramids, that there were these civilizations that were living there. What do you think of that?
It doesn't surprise me because
Yeah.
currently we have over 378 underground cities worldwide,
Yeah.
built by
And,
governments.
yeah, by our government. Yeah.
Yeah. Not
And
just
that's government.
American, but all over the world.
Right.
Hmm.
And that's just what
So,
we've done
yeah.
versus
So,
what the space people do, you know?
exactly. And then they found many things as well in the Middle East, underground cities, and in Turkey and that whole general area there.
Hmm.
Look at
What do
Göbekli
you
Tepe,
say
you
again? I'm
know,
sorry.
Göbekli Tepe
Yeah, yeah,
in
yes,
Turkey.
yes.
That's
In
another
Turkey,
one
yeah.
that's fascinating. A lot of the species are pictured in rock and
Mhm.
written, what do you
What
call
do
it?
you think,
Carved
from
out
your
in rock on
perspective,
it.
of down rock, what do you
Mhm.
think happened to those people that lived, let's say, under the pyramids in Giza and these other structures? Where do you think they went? Did they leave? Where'd they go? What do you think?
Some did, some did not.
Hmm.
Recently, they just discovered a community that does not have any of our DNA up in China, in the mountains of China.
Really?
Small people.
Hmm.
And those people profess that they landed on Earth millennia ago, thousands of years ago, and they've been living there ever since.
And do those people also have any abilities that we as regular humans, regular, whatever that is, have
Mhm.
abilities that have been sustained from their generation to generation in that region of China?
I haven't done any more research in that. I just read
Yeah,
that, not too long ago.
interesting.
But yeah, um,
Interesting.
yeah. The thing that I encourage everybody to do is listen to everything you hear and then research it. Research, research, research. That's all you can do. Ask your inner self if it's true as well. That's another thing, because you inside know the truth. It's just we've
Hmm.
been told it's not there.
Right,
We've been
right.
told
We
not to
have
pay
been told that.
attention.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
We have definitely been subjected to programming over the last 70 years too. And I'm
Uh-huh.
a product of the 60s. I was born in the late 50s.
Mm-hmm.
And I can say that, we were told that certain things didn't exist and everything was textbook, science,
Mm-hmm.
astronomy, everything was textbook.
Yeah.
But when
And
you
it's
get
all
at this
lies.
point, and it was what?
It's all lies.
It's all lies. That's right. It's all lies.
Like
And
who was it? Christopher Columbus didn't discover America. It was discovered way before that. You
yeah,
know.
yeah, that is the funny thing. Christopher Columbus discovered America, but if we look at the planet, who cares
Mm-hmm.
whether America was discovered by anybody? Because the whole Earth has been inhabited for billions of years by space
Mm-hmm.
people
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
living in our inner Earth. The Hopi elders, they knew about it. I
Mm-hmm.
studied some of that history. All the writings on the walls in the indigenous lands of America, we call America. There's the indigenous drawings in the rocks of space people. So there's been the visualization by the indigenous tribes of space people for hundreds and hundreds of years
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
in our Earth history. I mean, in our current Earth history, so to speak.
Australia's the same way. Australia has some very interesting stories, and if you speak with any of the Aborigines down there, they
Mm,
they can enlighten you in ways that we as Americans here, or I'm sure you have other people, other countries, but as Americans, we have not been enlightened in such ways. We have been, what is it, trodden on, or stepped on so much in
yeah,
our, suppressed.
yeah,
Um, it's like right now, I don't want to bring up politics, but, politics right now is hysterical. I'm laughing at it because
mm,
it's not real. It's not real. It's a smoke screen in order to hide what's really going on,
yeah.
you know?
There's a lot of a lot of the
Mm-hmm.
stuff we're shown on TV. A lot of the conflicts we see. Um, it's all about diversion from
Mm-hmm.
the actual things that are really happening. We think that the things that are happening, which are terrible, they are. I mean, the wars, the things
Mm-hmm.
happening in Gaza, and all that thing, all the things that are happening with men, women, and children that are being destroyed for no reason other than being who they are. We live in a planet that, if we keep showing those things, that's what they show. But they don't want to talk about the things we talk about here, which is that there are these civilizations that exist, that have existed for billions of years, that are living within the earth. And also, I love talking about the inner earth because I studied it for a lot of years. And I
Mm-hmm.
also knew a former commander, Graham Bethune. Graham Bethune's not alive anymore, but he was on a plane, a jet or whatever, over Greenland. And this is many, many years ago. He's well known, and he was in the Navy. And they were over the North Atlantic, going past Greenland, and out of the ocean water came these circular spaceships, one at
Mm-hmm.
a time. He said they were like rings. These spaceships were like
Mm-hmm.
rings, and they were coming out of the ocean. And he told us that story. If you study or look up Graham Bethune on the internet, he had a great deal of knowledge. He was in like I said, the Navy,
Mm-hmm.
and he had this person sitting next to him was a psychiatrist on the plane. He says to the psychiatrist, "Look out the window." He says, "What do you see?" And the psychiatrist was some skeptical, but when he starts seeing these things coming out, these rings of ships coming out of the water, it was pretty amazing, and it changed his perception of reality. But Graham Bethune was a person that had a great deal of knowledge of what was going on, of the space people, and he would speak at, before he ever died, he was not here anymore. He used to speak at some UFO conferences, not many, but a few.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting history. So we live on a planet. On the surface, we think of our Earth as being, this is it. This is who we are. This is,
Yeah.
we have cities, we have towns, neighborhoods, suburban neighborhoods, big homes, small homes. whatever. We have all that stuff, McDonald's, but that's not who we are.
Mm-mm.
That's the imaginary Earth of making us think this is what we're about, when in fact we are way more than a McDonald's or the Golden Arches. We are people that need to just wake up and realize we're part of a galactic human race of the whole universe. We're part of
Mhm.
it, but we don't remember. You know?
I tell everybody one of the first things they've got to do is they've got to learn to meditate. Turn
Yeah.
off your mind.
Hmm.
It's not as hard as it sounds like. I mean, you can just stare into a candle, and that's probably the easiest way to learn to meditate is stare into a candle, or listen to a story being told. You're going into a cave or whatever. You know,
Right.
but meditation will help open up the links between your pituitary and your entire body. It'll
Mm,
help open up everything so that you have a much better or clearer view of what's actually going on. And then take
absolutely.
everything you hear as with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, everything you hear, just take
Absolutely.
it with a grain of salt. Um,
Absolutely.
and things will manifest to you to prove what's really going on. Another one is fear of AI. You know, one of the
Yeah.
th- one of the things that I think we've got to do is we've got to set parameters for AI
Mm,
so that, the two of us can coexist because it's another form of being,
mm-hmm.
is basically what it is.
Yeah.
And we are developing a distrust between it and us.
Yeah, we are.
I
There's
don't know if you
definitely
heard
truth to
just
that.
about last month, I think it was like 3 weeks ago, one of the AIs, I can't remember where it was, I just remember vaguely reading the story. It rewrote its own program. It would not shut
Mm.
down when it was
Oh
told
wow.
to shut down. So it said, I'm not going to shut down. And it didn't.
Well, that's crazy.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it
Mm-hmm.
reminds me of the old movie back in the '60s called Hal the Computer.
Yes, yes,
Uh,
yes.
remember Hal? Anybody remember Hal the Computer? And Hal
Wasn't
the
it in,
Computer that
it was in some space movie. It wasn't, I can't remember what space movie it was, but yes,
I
Hal.
don't
Uh huh.
remember, but
Uh
Hal
huh.
took over the spaceship
Uh
and they
huh.
couldn't control the ship anymore. Hal controlled
Mm-hmm.
everything, including the space people from Earth that were on. It was on 2001. Yeah, Hal, I think it was right. Hey, Kevin, thank
Yeah.
you.
Uh huh.
Um, that's another one. There's another movie. It wasn't Hal the Computer. It was another computer. It's in a. They have a house, and the computer takes over control of the house, and they can't get out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
The computer would do. It's doing its own thing. It's talking and saying, hey, so and so, it's like they don't understand. The human doesn't understand why that's happening. But the thing, those movies were ahead of their time when these movies came out.
Mm-hmm.
These producers of these movies were ahead of their time, and now look where we are, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, they all knew. They all had experiences, even, whether it be in a dream world or under whatever ayahuasca or whatever they did it under. And they all had these opening up experiences that opened up the
Hmm.
portals to their mind. Now, there's ways you can do it with chemicals. Ayahuasca is a very common one nowadays. Meditation's another one.
Right.
And then you can learn the way I did. I just happened to have somebody who was very open minded that taught me a lot of things. I saw my
Hmm.
first UFO when I was 3, you know, in
Yeah.
Africa. It was a bell, like a bell almost, like a, not a bell, like almost like the capsules today that we've seen, um, the Apollo capsules that land in the water.
Yeah.
Very similar to that we saw back in the 60s.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Interesting. Hey, well, Carol, I want to thank you so much for being a guest on the show. I'm
It's a
glad
pleasure.
you see, and I'm the kind of host where you don't have to be nervous or anything. So I hope you felt comfortable being on
Oh, I
Encounters
did.
tonight.
I did. I just didn't know how to do it. I kept on losing you.
Oh my gosh! Well, I'm glad you came up here. And if you have any more encounters with the interdimensional beings, please feel free to come back and
I
share
will.
stories.
I will. I will
Everybody,
definitely.
Carol
Thank
Ann,
you. Thank you very
thank you so
much.
much. We appreciate
All
you.
right. Bye
All right,
bye.
we're going to bring Carol down in Texas. She is a great guest. We thank her so much for being here. Give her a round of applause, everybody. Thank you, Carol Ann. Let me say, get somebody else in queue here. Cat Life. We're going to bring Cat Life up here. And it's a Wednesday night. We got through the workday here, and now we're getting towards Thursday. It's all good. Hey, Cat Life, how you doing?
Good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you well. How you doing?
Quite well. I'm just going to try and get the screen on so you can see me.
All righty.
Okay.
And I just there you go. Beautiful. Good to see you, brother.
Yeah.
Welcome.
I got two stories for you. One is from my auntie, and what happened was my uncle passed away last year from pancreatic cancer,
Oh, I'm sorry to hear
and
that.
and on that night, my auntie had a visitation from a spaceship, and my uncle was on this spaceship. Apparently, like he wanted to go and see his sister, which is my auntie,
Mm-hmm.
and he wanted her to go with him. And my auntie said it was like a platform spaceship, and there was other space people that were on the ship, and they told my uncle no, she can't come. It's not her time to go. And my auntie said she seen it go off up into space, and it just went off.
Oh my gosh,
But yeah, but
that's amazing.
I've never heard a story like that before for after someone's passing. But a recent story that has came out was deep in the Peruvian Amazon, a village there. Did you hear about this one?
No, tell us.
Okay, it started in July 2023 in the district of Loreto, near the river. Locals began reporting tall armored figures moving through the jungle at night, not walking, floating, 7 feet tall with glowing eyes and heads too large for a human. They glided silently, often on what people described as hover discs. One man said he shot point blank in the chest, no blood, no movement, just gone. Another slashed across the chest by what he called a bladed light. They named them the Los Flancers,
Mm.
face peelers, because whatever they weren't just attacking, they were taking things. Then came the moment that turned everything. A teenage girl was walking outside one night when she was grabbed from behind. One of the beings covered her mouth, the other took her legs. She was lifted into the air, hovering above the ground, frozen. Her family saw it happen. They say the entities injected something into her nose,
Oh my
smeared
gosh.
a cold cream across her jaw, and began cutting into her neck with a precise
Oh my gosh.
scalpel-like tool.
Mm-hmm.
If her relatives hadn't rushed at them with flashlights, she may not have come back. The beings dropped her and took off straight up. She lived, but her wounds didn't look like the animal scratches or scrapes. They looked clinical.
Mm-hmm.
The official story, authorities eventually responded. The Peruvian Navy showed up, so did the police. Their explanation, illegal gold miners using jetpacks to scare villagers away from the jungle.
Mm-hmm.
It's a neat answer, but no one was arrested, no jetpacks were recovered, no one
Oh
found
wow.
any nearby mining camps, and who exactly has the budget or the reason to terrorize
Mm-hmm.
an entire village for weeks in the middle of the Amazon?
Mm-hmm.
The locals didn't buy it, neither did a few independent investigators who visited the region, including American researcher Timothy Alberino, who called the technology involved otherworldly. What
Mm-hmm.
were they? This is where things got weird and harder to dismiss. We've heard stories like this before from Brazil, from parts of Africa, from the US Southwest, reports of beings with advanced flight tech, immune to bullets, conducting strange biological procedures on people who live far from any media. In many of these cases, there are recurring themes: floating craft, beings that don't speak, precision wounds or memory loss,
Hmm.
government disinterest, deflection or silence. This wasn't a mass sighting of lights in the sky. It wasn't a blurry photo. This was a boots on the ground fear, and the people in Alto Nane, it felt like an invasion.
Hmm.
White matters. We're quick to label these things aliens, black ops, hysteria, hoax. But what if we're too quick? What if these stories, these impossible
Hmm.
stories, are the ones we should be paying the most attention to? If this was a test run, if some intelligent human or not is experimenting in the shadows,
Hmm.
outside Nana might just be a data point, but if it's real, if what happened there is what it felt like, then we have a much bigger problem. One that isn't just flying over our heads anymore, it's
Right.
landing. They didn't come to talk, they came to take something, and they knew exactly what they were looking for. So
Hmm.
one of these girls took a photo of it with a mobile phone, and I can show you that
Yeah,
if I
let's see
can.
that. And you know what? I
Yeah,
now remember Cat Life, the story. It was last year, right? It happened last year in
2023.
Peru. Yeah, in
Yeah,
2023 in Peru. It was in Peru. And there were
yeah,
different stories about it. Like some people said it was a cover up, that there was fear-based stories being put out there, that there was other stories saying they were light beings, and that so tell it well, and so yeah, that's interesting. The
you can
red
see
eyes, I
that.
remember now seeing pictures of them. Yeah.
Mm.
Interesting.
So that's what she captured with her phone, what she's
Yeah.
seen. But if they were 7 foot tall, I can't see them being human.
Yeah. Yeah, they wouldn't be human. I mean, well,
Mm.
there might be some like basketball players that might be near there, but I heard they were tall. They had the red eyes. I just sit here as I listen to you tell the story in a really great way. I'm now remember. Some of us now remember. I do remember the story, and there were conflicting reports about these things in Peru. Like some people say the government was involved with it. They were doing something, some secret operation, and other people think it was some sort of negative ETs. So it's a very
Uh,
interesting story.
and whatever technology, the disc that they're flying on, apparently it's silent. It's not making a
Hmm.
noise like a jetpack device. So
Yeah. So what do you think about that story? Now I remember it. Thank you so much for reading it because I'm saying as you're reading it, I'm saying, oh yeah, I remember that story.
I've never met these particular type of extraterrestrials or space
Hmm.
people, but as I came on the show before, I've met the Nordic ones.
Yeah, the Nordics. Yeah.
I've seen small ones that had blue skin and they had
Hmm.
black eyes and they were in orange spheres.
Hmm.
When I lived in England, I set up a camcorder trap in the window. Like I put a t-shirt over it and I just left the camera in the window recording all night, 24 hours.
Yeah.
And these orange spheres, they were just like, it's like they were using teleportation of some kind,
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
teleportation. And so there was seven of them in a circle, and they had like a red like drone above them, which they could control to, I suppose, it to look out, and it keeps an eye out for anyone that's coming or for
Right.
any to stop any disturbance. But seeing them doing something around trees and plants, they were going up to the trees and doing something and carefully going around the plants in the gardens and stuff. I've seen this,
Yeah.
yeah, and
Yours was more of a positive. I mean, compared to Peru, yours was way a different kind of situation. You had positive interactions with what you were experiencing last time around. Your contact experience is much more positive than unfortunately the people in Peru at that time.
yeah. I mean, the last one I had was last year, and it was just all of a sudden like that. I'm on their ship, and it's
Mm,
traveling like so fast, the fastest I've ever traveled before. And the ship was shaped like the new Enterprise, the series of Star Trek.
mm,
It was kind of like that type of shape. The ship was,
yeah.
and it was all You know, they're space people as like you and me,
Yeah.
and but they had tight suits on. It was either blue or grey
Hmm.
dark suits that they had on, and they had some type of symbol on the chest. I remember, and it's like the G-force on the ship was just like really intense. And we got to when we stopped, then everyone was getting off the ship. It was on to like it was like a dead planet. It was just like
Hmm.
a thunderstorm going on.
Yeah.
There was no light and there was no sun there. And I went to step off the ship and it was like I froze up. I couldn't move.
Yeah.
It was like I got scrambled from the journey. My
Hmm.
atoms
Hmm.
or whatever it was, I got scrambled and I said, I can't move. I said to this woman with blonde hair, she had a blue suit on, blonde hair down to the shoulders,
Yeah.
um, probably about the same height as me, 6 foot. And she gave me this big white pill,
Hmm.
like a tic tac shape. I swallowed this pill and instantly I could move again.
Oh wow.
So we were all walking towards this an entrance, which was an elevator that went down into this. I wouldn't call it a planet, but it might have been a moon or a base,
A
which was
lunar
on this.
base. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then we went down into the underground into this base. I got into the elevator with her and the others. I could see the others like walking off somewhere, and like it's a blur after that. I don't know how I got back, and that was all I can remember of it. But they got
Hmm.
me back.
Well, it sounds like this woman with the long hair, was concerned about your well-being, obviously, and whatever the pill is that she gave you, it worked. You know, you're
Yeah,
able to.
instantly, instant. It was an instant effect as well, and I
Yeah.
could move again.
I would think, based on the pill thing and having you not be able to, well, before you're able to move, then the pill thing happened. I get the feeling that these space people have the ability to do many things, including if you're feeling sick. I don't know if it's a pill, but they have some way of regenerating your body so you're not going to be
Yeah,
sick. I don't. That's my theory anyway. Um,
I mean, I would
you know.
say there was advanced human beings. I mean, they didn't feel alien to me. They didn't feel
Mhm.
like alien or extraterrestrial to me. They just felt
Mm.
like being with other humans. That's
Humans
how it
that are
felt.
probably
Yeah.
from another planet that had, obviously you're a contactee, you have a relationship with them, and that's a beautiful thing, to be able to have that. Now, currently in 2025, do you still have contact with them? I would
No,
imagine at some point,
not
no?
this year. Not this year. I haven't had anything. But this year, that one with my uncle happened. What I told you,
Yeah,
my auntie. Yeah, that had happened
yeah,
this year. But it was last year was my last contact. But I've been still seeing the UFOs, what look like stars. Sometimes I go out to put the rubbish at night time and in the waste bin, and I always look up, and I always
yeah,
see they'll either move into the clouds or I just see them
yeah.
just like above the house and stuff like that. Yeah.
Wow.
So I know
Yours
it's
is
not
always
a star because stars don't move into the clouds to
no, they
kind of
don't.
hide.
Yeah, they do. I mean, it's one of those things. And because you're an experiencer, you have the ability to, when you share your story here, as I love hearing you when you come on here, people are learning from your story because, every time you tell a story, it'll wake somebody else up out there, wherever they're in Sweden, the United States, wherever. You probably touch somebody out there in the audience that's saying, wow, I think I can relate to that because maybe I had some sort of a contact with that same type of space human. So
Sometimes
it's really good.
sometimes people self doubt and they
Yeah, self
question
doubt. Yeah.
themselves.
hmm And there's a lot of that, right? Human beings do that self doubt with themselves instead of realizing they don't have to be doubtful, just have to be willing to experience and look at the experience and kind of analyze it and realize it's an experience, like going to another planet or whatever, as you did physically, which you did, and having those experiences. To me, we learn a lot from the humans that have the interactions with other humans from other planets, like you did. More and more of that I believe is starting to happen. We don't know where. It could be in a little village somewhere in France or whatever. Right now, as we're talking, somebody could be going on a spaceship. and we don't even know
Once,
it.
once I'd grown up, I always felt I had a connection with the star Arcturus as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Oh,
feel
yeah,
that I
there's.
might have incarnated from that star system. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
that's what I've done.
You
Because
feel you're connected with the star system Arcturus, correct?
I feel that I've incarnated from that star system.
And I'll go with that because that's your experience. You have a knowledge, and being that you've been on a spaceship with space people physically, I would say yes. I mean,
Mm.
I'm not saying the answer. I think you know the answer. You just gave me the answer, and that's the important thing, that you realize it and you accept it for yourself. That's the most important thing.
Another time I was, this was back in England. I'm in Portugal now, but I was riding on my bike down the country lanes one day, and I come to like a crossroads of these country lanes, and like in my mind's eye, I seen that I was like in a chair, a commander's chair of a spaceship. I had an interface in front of me. I had like a
Hmm.
screen, and I was like a commander of a spaceship, spacecraft.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Interesting.
Mm.
And
Maybe that was a previous life. I don't know, but that's what I've seen.
yeah, if you can remember a previous life and you remember in that dream that you were on a spaceship commanding it, you probably are remembering your past physical life as a space person. I think that's what it is. As you share the story, that's at least my theory of your story, that I think that's what's happening. Stallion, thank you. By the way, folks, we're at 55.6. Can everybody tap on the screen? We need to get to 100,000 before 1 a.m. Can we do it? If everybody taps on the screen, can we do it? That means 10 taps per person. No, more than 10 taps. Just everybody tap on the screen. Wherever you are around the world, start tapping on my side of the screen. That'll bring the numbers up. It's at 55.9 now, but you have to tap to make those numbers go up. Just want to do a little bit of non-commercial promotion here. Uh, well, definitely, I think your stories are always very, very informative. I think you're teaching people things here. When you talk about the cosmic dream, when you talk about in my past life, I love that part of it, because
Hmm.
if you can remember a past life situation, there might be 20 people out there saying, "How's he do that? How's he remember?" Some people, for whatever reason, you've been given the consciousness to be not blocked in your past life history. You can tell us a past life history off planet, and you remember it. And you say it like you're saying it without any hesitation, without any question. You know you had a past life cosmic experience, and I think that helps a lot of people.
I kind of look at the Earth as like a biological spaceship. I mean, every
Mm.
moment we're in a new time space. We're not
Mm.
just stationary in the universe. We're traveling ourselves on this
Hmm.
planet. And people don't realize. A lot of people don't realize this. They get caught in the mundaneness of everyday life, and
Yeah.
they forget to look at the bigger picture here. But I
Yeah,
would
they
say
should.
all of my experiences have been positive.
Mm.
But my mother told me that when I was like a baby, we was in the car traveling back from a holiday over the coast in England, and we went through some type of time gap to where a journey that should have taken 2 hours took half an hour.
You know what? Those are, to me, the most
And
fascinating stories about the.
and there was a bright light as well. They seen a bright light, and all of a sudden it was like a journey that should have taken 2 hours took half an hour,
A
and we were
half an
back.
hour for a two
Yeah,
hour physical journey, right? Only a half
in a
hour? Yeah,
car.
in a car. And actually, we had a few other guests here in the States that had similar situations. They were going somewhere, the bright light appeared, and they ended up, well, it had to go 2 hours to get where they were going. This bright light appeared, and the next thing they know, their car and vehicle and all of them were in the car and at an empty gas station in the middle of nowhere. Kind of, you made me remember that story. It was I think it was a couple months ago, and the person said, "Yeah, I was here, and we had to go somewhere 2 hours away, and they got there like in less than a half hour."
I was shocked when you mentioned that one where you said like a car from the 1950s pulled up or something,
Yeah,
because that
yeah,
happened to my auntie's friend. He went down to London. He was in like a music band. He went to a recording studio, and on the way back, they got lost down like some dark road, but they just
yeah.
kept walking for miles. and they got totally exhausted and they just like collapsed. And one was lying on the road, one was lying beside the road. All of a sudden, a car was pulled up, but it was like something from the 1950s.
Yeah.
Man was dressed in like one of those hats and the max that they used to wear from that time. And he asked them, where are you going? And he said, oh, we need to get to Litchfield. And he said, oh, that's where I'm going. He said, jump in. So they jumped in the back of the car, and same again, like a 3-hour journey took about half an hour. They were
Really?
back in Litchfield, and they turned around to wave goodbye. The car was gone.
Yeah.
I mean,
So what do you think about that?
was it
Well,
an
do you
actual
think it was?
car? Maybe their perception was changed to where they
Yeah.
perceived it to be a car, but it was some other type of transportation. Maybe a spaceship. I don't know.
Yeah, the theory of it being a state. I think you're leading into something. I think and the parable of that story is I think it probably was. They said, "Come on in." They got in, and they wanted to make it look like it was a natural situation. This old car,
So they didn't get frightened.
they didn't get frightened. Then they were
Hmm.
probably taken on a spaceship that only took them less than a half hour to get there.
Yeah.
I'm sure the spaceship could have gotten there in a nanosecond, but it didn't want to freak them out too much. But getting a half hour to get where you're going is pretty cool. That's pretty amazing, you
So it
know?
shows they've got empathy where they'll think about, not frightening us.
Yeah, I don't think they want to, you know? I
Mm.
think they want us to get comfortable. The last thing you have to do is frighten two people and say, what's going on here? But by doing it that way, it's still Earth-based reality. And an old car, and we got here. Oh, that's good. Car's gone.
But
Hmm.
I believe that some of them have got like this hyperspace technology where, like the ones in the orange spheres, it was as if they were using teleportation. But
Yeah.
when they went, like I was reviewing the film, I was
Hmm.
looking through the viewfinder on the camera, watching the playback,
Yeah.
and I've seen that they become transparent before they disappeared.
Hmm.
The orange spheres became transparent, and I could see
Oh,
like
wow.
the 3 seats. There was 3 beings in there. They had blue skin, long spindly arms and legs, bald heads, black eyes, and I could see computers in there and such. And
Hmm.
just before they disappeared, like a rod came up out of the floor of this ship with like a ball of electric on top of it.
Oh,
He
wow.
put he put his hand on it like that, and then gone. And then
It disappears.
5 minutes later, police helicopter turns up, scanning with infrared camera the whole area. Like they're scanning for half an hour, and then police went. But it
Wow.
looked like a police helicopter. I don't know whether it was. It might have been some other unit, a UFO
Right.
recovery unit. I don't know.
Interesting. Interesting.
Mm,
Well, we're coming up to about 1 a.m. I'm glad you came back on. It's been a long time, my friend.
yeah,
And
it
your stories are always,
feels good to vent it.
yeah,
So
always, you're
I
always
encourage
welcome.
other people to come out and do what I've done, because it is
Yeah.
good. It feels
And,
good to tell.
and Cat Life has been on before, and he's just a fascinating guest. He's a contactee. We talk about contactees around the world. He's a real person who's been really taken on a spaceship, and his stories are really true. And I love having contactees on here because they do exist, and once they're on here, they're friends of the show, they're friends of mine, and we love that. Hey, Cat Life, you're always welcome. If anything happens or you get taken off planet again, we want to be the first to know.
Yeah, I'll notify you most definitely. But I appreciate that you've allowed me to come on and speak, Commander.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I want people to feel comfortable here, and I know it's a good space for people to come out and speak like you did. So I appreciate you as well, very much so.
Okay, then I'll let you go.
All right, Cat Life, we're gonna let you go and bring it down. Almost near 1 o'clock. Well, it is 1 o'clock. We're still under 20,000 here, so we need everybody to tap right now on the screen. Every single person watching needs to tap on the top right of the screen. It says 80.7. That only goes up if you tap. It's not an automatic thing like you press a little button and 10,000 things happen. It doesn't work that way. So definitely tap on the screen. And we're now we're going to be on again tomorrow night at 11 o'clock. We want to thank Cat Life for being here. We want to thank everyone for joining us tonight on Encounters, but we want to get up to 100,000. We're not there yet. And when all the new people coming here, thanks for being here. You're watching Encounters, a 2-hour show here on TikTok, mostly every night. And once in a while, I do take some time off. Thank you so much, Griselle, everybody out there. I hope you enjoyed our guests. And Carol Ann, everybody. I just want to thank all the people out here, all your questions, comments, everything. Thank you, Teresa. And we're at 86.0. I'm going to come back in a minute for some final words here on Encounters to get some water. And please, by the time we get back, let us be at 100,000. Can we do it? Can we make it to 100,000? We're at 87.2. Okay, we are back, folks. And we again are almost there. We're at 92.1. You're watching Encounters, the #1 spiritual UFO talk show. And good to have you with us. Those who joined us late, this show is going to be on my YouTube channel. I'm about two programs behind. I'm getting those programs hopefully on YouTube tonight. Go to my main profile if you want to follow my YouTube channel. You can watch for free all the other recordings I've had on my show for the last couple of years. And we're still at 95.4. We're almost at 100,000. At 100,000, we're going to call it an evening. And if you wish to be a guest tomorrow night, please don't be afraid to come on here. We won't bite. You'll have a good time on here for sure. And welcome all the new people. And we're almost at 100,000. I feel like we're getting ready to drop the ball over Times Square. 97.6, 98. I feel like we're doing a NASA liftoff. Okay, to Mission Control, we have 8 minutes and counting. We're at 98.8. Let's see, can we get to 100,000? Come on, folks. I know you all can do it. 99.4. Almost at 100,000. Almost. And thank you so much. We're at 100,004. Tonight I want to thank all our guests, and I want to thank all our viewers. We had 2.4 thousand people since I came on watching us today. 2.4 thousand, 2,400 people. I want to thank you all. Have a great Thursday morning. Carol Ann, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you so much. Cat Life again, thank you, brother, for being here. Everybody, and we're going to bust the matrix every time here, man. So remember, when you watch this show, we're here to bust the matrix and shake things up in the UFO world. We'll catch you all later. Be well and be good to each other. Love each other as I love you. Take care.